Nebraska fans, let's sit down and have a truthful and honest conversation. When we joined the Big Ten over a decade ago, right off the very bat, we were handed fake and fabricated rivalries against teams like Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and a couple others. And while I'll admit these rivalries have actually worked, they've developed to be some of the better in all of college football, we as a program still ignore one of the biggest disrespects that we have ever received. I'm, of course, referring to our quote-unquote rivalry trophies, which are a complete joke. So in today's video, we're going to talk about this at length. What are our rivalry trophies? Should they be abolished? Should they be changed to something else? Should we even have rivalries in the Big Ten? Should we even be in the Big Ten in general? We'll talk about all of it and so much more. So really quick, very honest video. Make sure to stick around for the entirety of it because it's going to be a big one. Hit that like button if you're fired up. And really quick, if you support the channel, it takes 2 seconds. Please hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's sit down. Let's talk. Let's talk about our quote-unquote rivalry trophies in the Big Ten because, in my opinion, they are a complete joke. And a lot of Nebraska fans, we just don't discuss them as much as we should. Now, when we joined the Big Ten in 2011, we were handed 2 rivalries off the very bat. One against the Iowa Hawkeyes and once against the Wisconsin Badgers. And while I'll admit that the Big Ten had the right idea behind both of these schools, I think that, of course, Iowa, we border them. There's a lot of hatred there already. I think that was a good rivalry selection. I'm not mad about being rivals against Iowa. That's developed to be one of the better rivalries in all the Big Ten. And then as for Wisconsin, I don't consider Wisconsin to be a rival. But at the time when we joined, it's easy to believe that we were going to be rivals with Wisconsin with our success, with Wisconsin's success. And unfortunately, we just didn't turn out to be that good, but if we were good, that would have been a great rivalry. Now, I'm not mad about the rivalries they selected. I think that they've developed to be pretty solid. I'm mad about these rivalry trophies because they're terrible and they're not organic and they have no history behind them. For Wisconsin, when we joined the conference, they gave us the Freedom Trophy. The Freedom Trophy. And when we play Iowa, we play for the Heroes Trophy. I don't know where they got that, but that was not very unique. They probably had an intern come up with that in about 2 seconds. Now, again, talking about the Wisconsin game, let's talk about the Wisconsin Trophy first. We'll get to Iowa. That'll be a big time discussion. Okay, I'm a believer that the Wisconsin Trophy should stay. Like, I'm not trying to get rid of it. I think that Nebraska and Wisconsin still has the ability to be a pretty legit rivalry. But, oh my goodness, we got to get away from this Freedom Trophy. Okay, because here's the deal. When you look around the Big Ten and you look at some of these other trophies, whether that's between Minnesota and Wisconsin with the Axe, whether that's, with the Clyde of Rosedale, with what you see with Iowa and Minnesota, whether that's with, of course, Illinois and even Ohio State to have the Alina Buck. What happens in these trophy games is they have a lot of history. They have a lot of cultural significance. That's what makes them important. That's what lacks in this Nebraska-Wisconsin trophy. It's a complete joke. There's no cultural significance. The Freedom Trophy. Like, okay, cool. Yes, we're free. We're Americans. What's the significance there? There's nothing. There's no significance. An intern literally came up with that and said, oh, the Freedom Trophy, we'll just honor the veterans for this game. It makes no sense. Okay, we need to change that. Okay, I think that right off the very bat, we should play Wisconsin yearly. If we want to go all in on this rivalry, might as well do it. Let's play Wisconsin every single year. But let's give this game a real name. I propose that Nebraska should change the Wisconsin rivalry game to be the Big Red Bowl. And we compete for the Big Red Trophy. We are both very similar programs when it comes to culture, when it comes to colors, when it comes to uniforms. We know that Barry Alvarez, their past AD, has a lot of ties to both Nebraska and Wisconsin. Let's play for the Big Red Bowl. And the winner is the true Big Red for the year. Why not? And I know some Nebraska fans are going to grumble. They're going to say, oh, we're the real Big Red. Who cares? I mean, okay, cool. You can think that. But just admit this is a way cooler name than the Freedom Trophy. The Big Red Bowl. Doesn't that get you a little hyped up? Oh, we're playing the Big Red Bowl. Not the Freedom game. Okay, that's why I think we should change it to the Big Red Bowl. Because that gets you a little bit fired up. Okay, we're playing for the Big Red Bowl. We're playing for some bragging rights for a year. That we're the real Big Red for a year. I think that's what it should be changed to. I think Wisconsin can be a real rivalry. You just got to try a little bit. And the problem is we just haven't tried. The Big Ten didn't try to make this a real thing. So that's what the Wisconsin trophy should be. Let's talk the Iowa trophy because the Iowa trophy was the biggest disrespect when we entered this conference. There are so many options. We already kind of had a rivalry with Iowa before we entered the Big Ten. Okay? Like, we kind of already hated them. You could have went with something related to farming, with corn, with I-80, with the border battle. So you could have went with anything, Big Ten. And they decided on the heroes game. Once again, saluting the military. And that's cool. I'm cool with saluting the military. But what is unique to it to Nebraska and Iowa? It's not unique to us. You can say that about any rivalry in America. Oh, the heroes game. We're honoring the heroes. Again, I'm cool with that. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but there's no cultural significance between this. It's needed to be changed for so long. Okay, there's so many options. What I think they should change the Nebraska-Iowa game to effective immediately is the Corn Belt Clash. Okay, Corn Belt Clash. You have two states who both claim to have better corn. Iowa claims to have better corn than us. We claim to have better corn. Iowa, they make more corn in a year than Nebraska, but Nebraska, everybody knows the quality of the corn, of course, is way better. We could talk about that another day. But listen, this is something that's culturally relevant. We're both farming states. We talk about this all the time. Why not? The Corn Belt Clash. And I'll tell you, that gets people a lot more hyped up than the Heroes game. You could say just the border battle or something. You could say the Missouri River battle. Battle for Council Bluffs. The loser gets Council Bluffs for the years. I don't know. The problem with these rivalries is they're just not very thought through. Like, okay, cool. We're rivals with Iowa. I'll admit, that's a pretty good rivalry. But the name of the game is just awful. We've got to change it. We've got to make it more iconic. Because right now it's really bad. It's really bad. So that's what I propose. Corn Belt Clash for the Iowa game. And then our other rivalry games that we should talk about. We have a trophy against Minnesota that's not official. It's the $5 bits of broken chair, which was created by Faux Pelini back in the day on Twitter, along with the Minnesota mascot. Make that an official game. Make that an official rivalry trophy that the winner gets that trophy. Then all the proceeds go to charity. It's a really good event. So that's what they should do. Make that Minnesota game legit. And they should also make the Michigan game legit. Because if you don't know, the Bussin' with the Boys, Will Compton and Taylor Lewan, because both of them are Nebraska and Michigan grads, they created the Bussin' Bowl trophy that they present to the winner, another unofficial trophy. Well, let's make that one legit too. Why not? Why not? If we're going to be good as a program, might as well have a rivalry with all the good teams. So, listen, I just think we need to revamp all these trophies. Like, I think the rivalries themselves are fine. Like, I believe we're true rivals of Iowa, despite what people are going to say. People are going to grumble, oh, Iowa isn't our real rival. That's not true. That's not true. We're rivals of Iowa. Let's be real. And I say we're rivals with Wisconsin partially. Like, when we beat Wisconsin last year, it's a pretty big deal. But we just need to try. We need to have more effort. And we need to revamp these trophy games. So overall, keep the rivalries, revamp the trophies. And overall, if you want to have more rivalries, you want to have more hatred, you got to win more. Okay, if you win more games, you're more competitive. A lot of teams are going to want to beat you a lot more. And then a lot more rivalries will be developed. So those are my thoughts on Nebraska's trophy games. I want to hear what you have to say. What are your ideas? Do you want to change the Wisconsin-Iowa game? Do you want another trophy game against another team? I want to hear what your thoughts are in the comment section. Hey, if you made this far in the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe as always, folks. Go McGrad, go Mount Roll, and I'll see you in the next one.